When I was a kid, the Wizard of Oz terrified me. The smoke, the booming voice, the giant green head on the screen. I was honestly so scared until I saw the man behind the curtain. And in that moment, the magic just died and I felt this huge sense of relief. The power was never in the wizard. It was all in the illusion. Years later, I realized the exact same thing is happening all around us in the real world. Not with green wizards and smoke machines, but with words. A few lines in a contract decide who owns a house. A single sentence in a court ruling decides who loses their freedom. A paragraph in a government policy decides who gets health care, who doesn't. Those words are our modern magic. We live inside them the same way I once lived inside the wizard's illusion. Documents don't just describe reality. They actively create it. So here's how this spell works. It's pretty simple, really. First, someone writes something down under the banner of authority, a king, a government, a church, a corporation. Second, those words get repeated over and over again in schools, on the news, in ceremonies, until they just feel like common sense, like the air we breathe. Third, people either agree to submit to those words or are pressured into it. And at that point, the spell is complete. Ink on a piece of paper now has the power to move money, bodies, and entire lives. Authority, plus words, plus our collective belief equals a social spell. So who are the magicians casting these spells? They're the people who know the special languages, the legal jargon, the financial terminology, the bureaucratic codes, the theological doctrines, the technical manuals. They write and interpret the rules that everyone else is forced to live under. And because they sit so close to the source of the spell, they're often the ones least bound by it. Now, this doesn't automatically mean they're evil. They are the ones who write and bend the rules. The Bible tells a fascinating story about a man named Daniel who was dragged into an empire that was built on these exact kinds of spells. He served kings. He knew the language, the records, the numbers. In today's terms, he was a top-tier scribe, an administrator, an accountant. From the king's perspective, he was one of the magicians. But Daniel's true power came from somewhere else entirely. He understood that the empire's words were not the final word. That insight made him immune to the spell, even while he was working deep inside the system. He lived inside the spell, but answered to a higher word. I'm not telling you to go burn down every system. I'm just inviting you to see the wires, the smoke, the speakers. To remember that laws, doctrines, and policies are just tools. They are not gods. They are human spells, and no human spell has the right to own your conscience. Once you truly see that, the fear begins to break. You can honor what is just, resist what is false, and simply refuse to be hypnotized. Once you see the trick, it can't control you in the same way ever again. My work isn't about casting new spells. It's about pointing at the curtain and helping you walk free in your own mind and your own spirit. If this resonated with you, maybe share it with someone who feels trapped under a set of invisible rules. They might just need to see the man behind the curtain. Thanks for